Hey everybody, this is Richard Herod from White Bear Mitsubishi. Today I'm doing a comparison of the all-new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV compared to the RAV4 Prime. Now, it's interesting to note, the RAV4 Prime has taken the market by storm, and it's a vehicle that's very hard to get and has very long waiting lists. But after you see this Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, you might see why this might be the popular choice. Now, it's important to note two things. This is a pre-production version of the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, so there may be some features or some styling cues that are different on the actual production model before it arrives here the last part of 2022. The second piece of news is that the former body style of the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV was actually the #1 selling plug-in hybrid in the world, ever, right? So since 2013, the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV has sold more plug-in hybrids than any other vehicle in the world, period. And when you see this head-to-head matchup, I think you're going to see why the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV is going to provide a lot of American consumers with what they need as they navigate high gas prices. The first big difference between the RAV4 Prime and the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV is styling. Now, this isn't a bad-looking SUV. In fact, I think it's actually quite attractive. When you compare it to the sleek, sharp lines of the 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, you might find that you enjoy the more rugged, athletic styling of the Outlander hybrid instead of the RAV4. Now, taking a look at the interior, this is where the difference between both models changed significantly. So I open this door and it seems like there's a lot of cheap, hard plastic that's right where your arms would be on the inside of this vehicle. Now, when you compare that to the interior of the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, it would appear like the Mitsubishi is adorned in higher grade finishes like upgraded leather and softer plastics than what you find inside the RAV4 Prime. All right, now when I open the rear door of the RAV4, the first thing I find is that it almost seems like this door should open wider. I don't know what it is, but I actually did some research on this topic. If you watch people who own a RAV4 Prime and some of the YouTube videos, they discover that doors open wider on other cars than the RAV4 Prime. I'm not sure why Toyota engineers did it this way, but it seems like it'd be harder to get passengers inside or large items if you're trying to transport more items. When I do the open door test on the Mitsubishi Outlander, it seems like the door opens at least 6 inches wider. So, I don't know if it's that very scientific, but it just feels like the door should open more to allow better access to the passenger compartment. In terms of charging, now this is a RAV4 Prime SE model. Now, first of all, this charge cover seems like a complete afterthought. Like, it's not even connected. So you take a look at this. This only allows for level 1 and level 2 charging at home. There is no option for DC fast charging on the RAV4 Prime. And again, as gas prices continue to increase, I think consumers are gonna be looking for faster charging options. And it's a little bit of a surprise that Toyota didn't include that as a standard or optional feature on this model. Now let's compare that to the charging access in this Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. So you open this door, and for level 1 and level 2 charging, you have this. Now this looks like it was more planned out and it wasn't an afterthought. Then on certain trim levels, we have DC fast charging. So this means you're gonna be able to charge your vehicle quicker if you find a DC fast charging station. Now when we get to the back of the RAV4, now it does have a power tailgate, which is great, but this thing is slow. Like, I opened a Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Do you know how many words I just said right now? It's twice as long to open the back hatch compared to a Mitsubishi Outlander. Same thing, closing it. It feels like an absolute eternity, like all the different things I can talk about that are differences between the RAV4 and the Mitsubishi Outlander. The gate still isn't closed. Okay, now it's closed. I think you see my point. The rear tailgate is slow. Now, I have to open it back up again because I want to talk about the cargo. Now, give me about 10 seconds here. Well, maybe 8, but anyway, let's get to this cargo area. So getting in the back thing, there's one big thing you're not gonna find in the back of the RAV4 Prime. You're not gonna find a third row seat. Now, this is gonna be standard on the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Now again, you wouldn't wanna put a person like myself in the back of the Mitsubishi Outlander hybrid, but if you have small children or grandkids, the Mitsubishi Outlander gives you that flexibility to have a couple extra passengers or use the larger cabin space for more passenger comfort. The other thing I noticed is on the Mitsubishi Outlander, there's these little levers to help fold down the seats. Now, if you're picking up large items, like at Home Depot, like a ladder or wood or whatnot, you actually would have to put that item out of the vehicle. You have to go and open the door of the vehicle, fold this down, and now go back to put that item through. With the Mitsubishi Outlander, all you need to do is use the quick release buttons on both the right and left side, and you have quick access to your large interior space. So okay, we've gone over a lot of different things that are differences between what's a really good plug-in hybrid and the Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, you're gonna find differences like interior fit and finish, exterior styling, some significant differences in being able to charge the vehicle, as well as rear cargo storage, access to your cargo storage, having a third row seat. I mean, 20-inch wheels. I mean, who doesn't want 20-inch wheels on an SUV if they can get them? But here's one that's gonna hit your pocketbook. Starting this fall, the RAV4 Prime is scheduled to lose half of its federal tax credit. That's right. The $7,500 federal tax credit the RAV4 is supposed to get is supposed to be cut in half to $3,750, making this a significantly more expensive vehicle if you don't qualify for the full tax credit. And starting next year in 2023, Toyota loses all of their tax credits, meaning there will be about a $7,500 difference between the federal tax credit you can get on the Outlander, once finally approved based on the battery pack, and the RAV4 Prime. So, what's the bottom line here? Well, of course I'm splitting hairs just a little bit because the RAV4 is a great plug-in hybrid vehicle. Toyota makes an excellent car. The caveat, Mitsubishi sells the #1 selling plug-in hybrid in the world. And now it's upgraded, it's coming to the US, and we're super excited about it. And if you want more details, definitely hit us up at whitebearmitsubishi.com. Check us out, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thank you.